moving on. Still have a couple things to get to here. So I'm sure a lot of you saw this. This was a big bomb that just got dropped over there in the United Kingdom. This is new digital ID scheme to be rolled out across the UK. New digital ID scheme will help combat illegal working while making it easier for the vast majority of people to use vital government services. Digital ID will be mandatory for right-to-work checks by the end of Parliament. Basically, the UK has come out and said digital ID is going to be mandatory if you want to function in society in the United Kingdom. And there's some points that I want to point out on it. I do want to pull this up first. This comes straight from the dude's mouth, Starmer's mouth, and you guys can hear it from him on this one. See here.
Today, I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. If you want to function in the United Kingdom, you will now be required to have a digital ID. We knew it was coming. First, it's a convenience. It's an offering. It's an option. And then all of a sudden it becomes mandatory. And this is the perfect case for order out of chaos. This is the perfect case for problem, reaction, solution. You allow the illegals to come in. And I remind you that Europe, when it comes to the illegal situation, is worse than we are here in the United States. You allow them to come in. You instead start attacking your own people while allowing the illegals to do everything that they're doing. And your response is to bring in mandatory digital ID as a way to combat the illegal problem that you created. It's perfect. It's right there in front of your face. Again, this is a case of it is so obvious that many people won't even be able to recognize it. Something can be so obvious that it's not obvious anymore, even though this is just purely obvious. So, this is a new digital ID scheme. Will help combat illegal working while making it easier for the vast majority of people to use vital government services. Digital ID will be mandatory for right-to-work checks by the end of Parliament. The scheme will be available to all UK citizens and legal residents, saving time by ending the need for complicated identity checks, which often rely on copies of paper records. Instead, the rollout will in time make it simpler to apply for services like driver's licenses, childcare and welfare, while streamlining access to tax records. The new digital ID will be held on people's phones, just as millions already use the NHS app or contactless mobile payments. There's a lot more to this that we're not going to go over tonight. First of all, we don't have time. Second of all, I want a little bit more time to look into it because there's a lot to it. So hopefully I'll have that ready by Tuesday and we can kind of delve a little bit more into this itself, like some of the cogs that are making it move. But we won't get into it tonight, but I do want to make sure you guys are aware of this because there's a lot going on behind the scenes with this as well. It says there will be no requirement for individuals to carry their ID or to be asked to produce it, but digital ID will be mandatory as a means of proving your right to work. This will stop those with no right to be here from being able to find work, curbing their prospect of earning money, one of the key pull factors for people who come to the UK illegally. Here's an idea. When you see the illegal, which the streets are just swarming with them right now, why don't you strap some handcuffs on them, throw them on the boat that they came in from, and push it out to sea? There's an idea, but no, what are they going to do? Digital ID for the citizens who live here. Let's do that, shall we? It's stupid. So here's a couple of things regarding this digital ID. Again, this is straight from their website. Says, your free digital ID will be stored securely on your phone and will help to prove your identity, including age and residency status, simplifying access to government services, and a range of uses across the private sector. The private sector, that's key, because as of right now, they're saying, if you want to work, you need this thing. But what they're saying is this is going to expand. It's they basically, when they made the first announcement, they said, no, this is just if you want to work. But then a couple hours later, seriously, just a couple hours later, they came out and said, this is all of a sudden slowly going to start being made. So if you want to do anything in the UK, you're going to need it. And you can kind of get some of the whiffs of that here. Let's see. Where is it at? I think it's on this next one down here. Yeah, so it says improve. So what will the digital ID do? Improve access to public services like education and social benefits by making it easier for everyone to quickly and easily prove their identity. It will also be available to use to prove your identity when voting in elections. So now if you want to vote, you need the digital ID. So first, it was work. Now we see if you want to vote, you got to do it, which, again, we're not going to get into that. Reduce identity fraud by minimizing personal details you give out and toughen employment checks, including across the gig economy, curbing the prospect for work for illegal migrants. Streamline verification process across private sectors, too, by enabling digital checks and efficient verification when doing things like opening a bank account or proving your age. So work, bank account, age. There's another thing on here that I just can't find. I know it's here. Where did it go? I know it's here. I can't find it. But it talks about for renting as well, buying a home, renting a home, leasing things as well. I can't find it on there. I know it's on there. You guys can go check it out, and it's there. But it talks about if you'll need the digital ID if you want to rent a place to live or if you want to buy a home, and so on and so forth as well. So this thing's going to be tied into work. It's going to be tied into your bank account. It's going to be tied into where you live and what you live in and renting and so on and so forth. And it's going to be tied to your healthcare as well. So you'll need a digital ID to get healthcare in the system as well. So all of these things are attached to this digital ID, and it's mandatory now in the UK. This stuff is it's moving lightning fast. It is accelerating like crazy. And it's mind-blowing to see this stuff all coming to fruition. I'll be honest, I knew that the UK was getting ready to do digital ID and so on and so forth. We saw the biometric stuff now. If you're a United States citizen and you want to travel to Europe, you're going to have to give up your bio data in order to have access to the country and so on and so forth. We knew that was coming. We knew that the digital ID stuff in the United Kingdom was coming as well. I just was not expecting it to be now. I thought maybe early next year it would come, but no, it was now. It's like, oh no, we're announcing it now. So here we go. And so it just, it's just, guys, I got to make sure that I put this forward. I know that we still have a lot of stuff to cover, but I want to make sure that I put this forward. I hope you guys are getting, I hope this is comforting to you guys. And I know that sounds weird if you don't know what I mean by that. I hope this is comforting to you guys, because when I see this stuff and I see how absolutely incredibly fast that this stuff is coming, I mean, the backlog of information and news that I am trying to get out to you guys right now. Again, I still have a stack of stuff that we just haven't had time to get to. I've had it for a week now because it's just, there's so much stuff going on. But when I see this, it's comforting to me because it shows that we're so close. Again, we don't know how close, we don't know how long we have. It could be months, it could be years, we don't know. We just need to make sure that when we see this stuff, though, it's comforting. It's just a reassurance that the Bible is true. Now, again, we're not seeing prophecy happening right now. There's no prophecies technically being fulfilled, but we are seeing the foreshadows and the stepping stones and the acceleration towards that time when that's going to happen. And what are we commanded to do during this time? What are we commanded to do when we see these things happening right now? We keep our heads down and we keep working. We keep doing what we're supposed to be doing. We don't slow down. We don't stop. We don't pull off at a gas station on September 23rd and go, well, we might as well take a break because there's a chance that, we're going to be gone and stuff like that. No, we don't do that. We just keep on the highway and we keep driving. We keep going. When we just continue to run this race till the very end. And so just continue to use this opportunity or use this information as an opportunity to refill your tank with comfort and excitement and just move forward. Just continue to go and do what we need to be doing. So I just want to make sure I encourage you guys with that, especially with all this crazy stuff that's happening right now. Moving over to the United States, hi caramba, we have another country that is going with the digital ID and the biometric stuff for the online situation. It is not just the United Kingdom. It's not just Europe that's implementing this stuff. We've been talking about it for a long time here on this channel. It's amazing. It truly is amazing to see all the prophecy watchers pointing out all the other countries that are doing digital ID, but they're completely ignoring what's going on in our own backyard with all these individual states implementing these things right now. It says Arizona enacts law mandating biometric digital ID age checks on adult sites. But what is an adult site? We'll get to that in just a second because it's pretty broad. Pretty broad to say the least. It says Arizona is set to activate a controversial law that requires adult websites to implement digital ID checks, age checks for users, including biometric verification. Starting this Friday, which was yesterday, any site with more than 1/3 of its content labeled as harmful to minors must restrict access to adults who can verify their age through systems that may involve uploading selfies and matching them to government-issued IDs. Under House Bill 2112, parents gain the power to take legal action against platforms that fail to comply. So again, it's on the companies. They can seek $10,000, so a parent can seek $10,000 in damages for each day a site remains accessible to minors without proper screening. Courts may also issue fines of up to $250,000 if a lack of verification leads to a minor accessing the content. While supporters frame the measure as a necessary step to keep children away from adult material, how about, parents be parents? But I guess that's asking too much. So we got to make sure that we do this. It says the process of submitting personal identification data raises the risk of surveillance, identity theft, and misuse of sensitive information. There was a thing, I don't know where it's at. Again, I can't find what I was looking for. Yeah, right here. I already read it. I just want to make sure that I make this out. Any site with more than 1/3 of its content labeled as harmful. Now, what deems it harmful? What deems it adult? What deems it harmful to minors? What classifies that? Is it bad language? Is it full on, adult stuff? Is it violent stuff? What is it? And we've gone over this. Every time that we talk about this situation, we've gone over this before. What defines as harmful? What defines it as adult? It could be anything from bad language in comments. At this point, 1/3 of social media would be deemed harmful. So does that shut down all social medias? Does that mean you're going to have to require digital ID for social medias like other states are implementing as well? Again, when these things are so broad and stuff like that, when they're the ones that define, it's a moving definition. How many times have they redefined words before? We're at a point now where we don't even know what that actually means. This is just a way for them to have the ability to just manipulate and apply digital ID wherever they see fit accordingly. And of course, this isn't just for minors as well. If you're an adult who wants to go on those websites, you're the one that has to give it over. So it's mass at that point. It's a mass broad sweep in that situation. So, and just rack up another state. I've lost count of how many states it is. I think we're in the teens now of states that are implementing some form of digital ID and biometric age verification for websites. And some of them are more stricter than others, but you have all that plus the COSA bill that they're still trying to pass, which would be all across the country and worse than any of these things as well. Guys, it's coming here in the United States. It is coming. It's going to happen eventually. So don't be surprised if it does. That's all I can say.